Hi, it's Joy, and today we're watching Motherland Fort Salem, Season 3, Episode 8. Petra's favourite pen. Do you not know what that means? Petra's favourite Penelope? I don't know. I am so excited for this episode. I'm also very stressed because Scylla has been captured, Tally's gone looking into the past, and it is the episode before the penultimate episode of this show, and I'm not okay with that. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and let's go. There she is. She's seen into the past.
Stop!
You're not here, Tally, not really. Whoa. They were fools to think just because they had swords they could easily defeat a witch. Does that mean we could go... She's frozen in ice?
Need you here?
No. What we need to do is find the last two pieces of the
Oh, I don't want you to separate again, but I don't disagree.
to prevent what I saw.
How do you know the first song can't stop it?
We don't.
It's about trusting the mother.
It's for the mother might want this witch bomb thing to happen. We have questions. We have a lot of issues with trusting you. It's triple checking that I am recording, and I am.
I don't like this, Tally.
Me
Go
neither.
with you.
No, you need to be here. Don't bother arguing.
Hmm.
I've already seen that I walk out that door solo.
Did you just look ahead to the end of the argument? Has she done this to you before?
You're a move, right? Wait until you...
You know it.
I love them. I hate
You're leaving, I just got back.
that they're separating, but I do understand how necessary it is.
Looking for you. But Tally...
I need all the help we can get, I guess.
Have done the underground. I need you to promise me to get the song and save yourself. You're a steward. Leave me behind if you have to.
Tally!
I return without you.
If what you told me is true, and the fate of
Tally,
this
you
world
are too
hangs in the
good.
balance, all that matters is the song.
I'm so proud of you, and I also better freaking not come to this.
And I promise what we're doing is for the good of all people.
I know as deeply as I know anything, you're telling the truth.
But the terrible thing is, Alder is telling the truth in terms of what she believes. It's for the good of all people. But what if the mushroom is like, fuck humans? They keep hurting my witches. I might kill them all. And Tally would not agree with that. I don't even think Alder would agree with that. You know, it's just the mushroom. It's not us. I'm stressed. That's the Raelle we love. I just hope she's strong enough for this.
Led by Thelma Bearkiller, who I assure you does not do anything half-assed.
We should be crushing them.
Oh dear, poor baby boy, not getting what he
Don't you agree,
wants.
Colonel Jarrett? We'll bring them in. Eventually.
Your daughter that you murdered is literally downstairs right now, desperately trying to stay alive. And remember who she is, you monster.
What do we do?
Is she alive in there?
Time to wake the witch.
Uh-huh. A witch who hasn't been alive for hundreds of years. This is gonna go great.
Or who she was. She blocked her mind with memories of you.
Scylla.
She's at a base in New.
Can't risk the troops. Then I'll go alone. It's a suicide mission.
You would never be alone.
Councilwoman, but those are the missions we do best.
Perhaps I can't ask you to do that.
You're not
Not
asking.
for anything.
Get back to our line safely.
I love the bond that these sisters have with each other, and they form it everywhere they go. I love my witches. My girls.
Did you call Scylla one of us?
You know I've got a soft spot for shitbirds. And insulting my army.
Was it
Nicta, can you just get over yourself, please, you mass murderer?
She's one of them. Wade is on our side.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look like she's on anybody's side. She's MIA.
But Nicta, what has your war on everyone that isn't a witch to get freedom for witches helped? You've made the situation worse. Nicta, you set up the fucking situation we were in. You gave them the hatred against witches. You stoked that fire that was there as part of your mission, and you haven't once acknowledged that.
She's alive. Everyone stays in line and does as they're told. You have another plan.
Murdering innocents?
It would not. Why not try to help put out the fire for once
Mm-hmm.
in your damn life?
Instead of stoking it. Nicta! Your arguments against the army make sense. Your actions have enabled them to say witches are evil. Look, they murder innocents. And a huge part of the Camarilla rhetoric was see the witches haven't even stopped the spree. Clearly they support them.
Relax.
Yep. Little Camarilla bitches. Easy peasy.
Did you see that?
Oh god. Is she transferring the song into Tally and not hurting her, please?
You are part. Our
Fucking hell.
here to take from me. Or
Oh
perhaps
lord.
instead, I'll take from you.
No. No.
No, Tally. Tally.
Don't.
Tally.
Don't you dare. Which solidarity, please? It's literally Brielle's right here coming for you. It's going to be okay. Fucking hell.
Very great.
Unlock her.
Your little wind and whispers in here.
You think you can block the witch bomb? You know who I am, right? The mushrooms don't just start on the skin. They form deeper.
Yeah.
In the muscle. In the bone.
This little coward.
You're alive.
I just work here.
Oh my fucking god. You were literally like, I've always wanted to stone somebody. But I love that she's using the fear of the witch bomb rather than, and still keeping her promise to Tally.
No foul, all right? Good.
You love stoning people. I know we need to have an epic reunion, but can you just get it safety, please? Okay. Okay, you have each other and that is everything. Now get to safety, please.
Hold that feeling.
Yes. By hand? Tally?
Are you alright? We need to get out of here.
We're not leaving with
Tally! Jesus Christ!
We're outnumbered. Fall back.
Trying to do what they've been told.
That's an order. This is treason against the United States of America.
We're outnumbered.
This is your final warning.
Fucking hell. Join our side! Change sides! Fuck it.
You know nothing about me.
She's holding her favourite pen.
I do know. Category.
It's Tiffany's favourite pencil or something before, wasn't it?
Powerful words.
Oof.
To protect this great nation from all enemies,
Foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic, we are the daughters of ancient lives.
I mean, genuinely, the Camarilla bitches thinking that, like,
Our call.
they have the witches and they're not in any personal danger. You had that coming. Again, prison, better than death, but... Oh god.
It's just hail. Just walk it off.
Oh, get her in the head. Oh, is it just hail? Why don't you walk it off, bitch?
My mother always said dying in battle was an honor. But it doesn't feel like an honor.
You're not dying.
Oh, Lord.
It was all for nothing. Where are the heroes?
We need a fixer.
Hang in there. That's an order.
We are the heroes and you are the heroes. Too late.
What if I could give her something else to see, other than all that trauma?
Oh.
I trade my sight for her song. Tally. For Rael's life?
Oh my goodness.
All our lives?
Tally.
There's nothing to look forward to. To see what's right in front of me for a change.
My love. She's just everything. She's selfless and brave and kind and good. That's so good, my love. Whoa.
It worked.
I love you, Tally. Oh, now we need to go. Oh god.
You promised. I promised to protect the stewards at all costs.
Oh yeah, she's a steward now.
You're a steward now. But
You're a steward as well! She's also a steward, isn't she?
I want to grace us with your presence today. Here you are.
Someone using the spree work.
Just asking General Bellwether.
And when we do find them, we can start talking about my pardon.
How many people has she killed? Oh, pardon. Like, Nick needs to kind of accept life in prison and maybe just bargain for, like, a nicer prison cell. And maybe a pardon for the rest of the spree. Her pardon. Having a good reason for mass murder, like, behind the mass murder, doesn't mean it was a good reason.
We found you in the garden days ago, covered
Days.
in frostbite, barely alive.
Wilder wasn't with you.
Also not dead.
Collapsed.
Alda has to be alive because she's a steward.
I think we should turn ourselves in.
What?
Yes, I'm aware that we will be put on trial for murder and treason and
Jesus Christ.
likely be executed. Isn't it time that we return the favor?
Oh my god, my
If
loves.
there's even a chance that our surrender can provide some peace, don't we have to try?
We started this together.
We should end it together.
My loves. My loves. Stress. Jesus Christ, I'm stressed.
You think they'll bother with a trial or...
Find Kalita.
I will. And you come back to us
She will.
as soon as you can.
I love you.
I love you too.
I just wish there was more time. There never is.
No, but there will be one day.
Trying to keep us apart.
When we get out of this,
Yes, when?
will you marry me?
Yes.
The next episode is called, like, But I Don't Even Have a Dress, and I was like, a dress for a wedding, it calls me for a trial, but this is everything. Oh, there's 2 episodes left and that is so unfair. Oh. Oh. I love them so much.
Okay then.
I love you all so much.
Hey, they're coming out.
They're so good.
We have apprehended the fugitives. All U.S. Army personnel will stand down. This occupation is over.
Okay, so going into the end, and then I'll talk about the actual episode. They've handed themselves in. There are 2 episodes left. I imagine the next episode there will be some semblance of a trial, or at least a lead up to a trial. And then I'm assuming the combination of Wade being alive and Penelope not being dead will come into play. If there was a season 4 and 5 like the creator originally intended, I might have maybe thought the trial would drag into the next season. Maybe they wouldn't even been giving themselves up until the season finale, but obviously they've had to do things somewhat differently. I still dream that the show gets picked up because it is worthy of many more seasons. At the very least, the 5 they originally had in mind. I'd read books that continue it though, you know, guys. If you just want to give me the books of Motherland for Salem, I will read them all. But yeah, going into the next episode, Silver will have them in his grasp. Now, they have definitely got a bit of protection in that, you know, the media saw them be captured and that saw that they surrendered. And you're not going to surrender yourself and then fight back and, oh dear, but they were all trying to escape, so we shot them in the head. You know, there will have to be, like, that gives you a certain amount of protection, but that kind of protection doesn't extend all the way. They could still be hurt, they can still be used against Petra, they could still... I mean, the trial could still find them guilty and be a show trial, depending on how quickly it moves. No, there's 2 episodes left, and I remember I think it was in, either it was even an interview or it was in the first After the Storm of the season, Elliot showing us saying that he wants to leave on a bigger what if than they started, and I'm like, what does that mean? But I'm kind of feeling hopeful that this season will have to end. I mean, I'm feeling hopeful while having no hope, with them being exonerated, Silver being found out, and maybe a new future being built for witches and the rest of America and the rest of the world. I love these girls for the fact that they saw what was happening in the session, and if sacrificing themselves can save lives, they will do it in a heartbeat, even though they are letting the bad guys win, because ultimately they're thwarting the bad guys' plan, because Silver wanted the witches to get wiped out invading the session, and instead he now has no reason to invade the session. Like, I'm sure he could still declare that, like, the treaty's invalid or something, but really, do you need to invade when they're not currently posing a threat against you? The wind is out of his sails to a degree. We also have a slight win in that there is no longer a bitch looking over Petra all the time because we have killed him. It definitely showed you that the Camarilla have got very overly confident with their new technology and their new political power over witches. They're very kind of like, we're just better than you now. And it's like that they're still witches. We're epically powerful. Why are you being like so casual with your complacency? So I have hope it can end. Like, if this was the last episode, obviously the world would have ended for me, but there are 2 episodes where things can maybe get better. So then I will go straight to Tally. She is my favourite character, though, like I said, she's my favourite because since the beginning there was something about her optimism and her view of the world that I was just like, I love you and I want to protect you and I love you, I want to be you. But I adore Abigail and Raelle almost as much. You know, it is not, there are certain shows where I have a favourite character and then I don't really care about the others so much at all. This is not one of them. And Scylla has grown into that spot as well. She's still a little lower than Raelle and Abigail simply because of season 1, but I love her as well. But so Tally, her sight has defined her to a degree. You know, Raelle had kind of her unusual workings. She could do the healing magic, and then she became the witch bomb. Abigail, despite in season 2 initially being like, they're special and I'm not, she found that her family have this greater connection to storm magic, and she has it too, even more powerful than ever before. And Tally had her sight, even from like just being able to, like, and it's something she has grown and expanded upon. But the more she grew her sight, the more it became almost like one of those plot points where it's too convenient to have a character that can be like, oh, the guards come around the corner in 5 seconds all the time. Shows like to find a way to get rid of that kind of plot armor device, and I think the way they did it, she sacrificed something that meant so much to her because her sight has helped her save so many lives. It has helped her so many times. It's something she uses without even thinking now. She sacrificed something that is truly important to her in order to get the piece of the song that they need to save the world. She was trusting in order and trusting in the mushroom, but I think it also shows you who Tally is in her heart, because she was in this cave with this woman who, despite knowing that, like, she'd been chased down and had been trapped in this cave for a millennia, the woman, like, attacked and tried to kill Tally. It would have been totally reasonable for Tally to be like, my god, that bitch! You know, I don't care what suffering you've been through. Witches are like sisters to each other, and what is this? Witch solidarity, where is it? But instead, Tally was like, my god, she's in pain, and she's alone, and she's lonely. And I can offer her a trade that will fix that. You know, Tally saw straight to the heart of the problem with her courage and her bravery. And she saved the day. She came up with something that will help that witch in her eternal captivity. And she managed to get the piece of the song, so she's now a shepherd of the song. So, Alder. I'm very respectful that she saved Tally's life. I think it would have been interesting to see what Alder did there had Tally not become a steward of the song. Because if she was not a steward of the song, then I think Alder would have sort of been like, I'm so sorry, Tally, and left her simply because it was the right thing to do. But I also think Alder is someone that wants to protect witches, and she is someone that wants to protect these young witches that she has seen go through so much and grow so much and give so much back. I do think it wouldn't have been as simple. Season 1 Alder would have been like, oh, well, I'm sorry about that, cadet, bye. I think season 3 Alder would have struggled a lot more with just leaving Tally, but I think she potentially would have seen, awful as it is, the logic of Tally's words of leaving her behind. But the minute Tally was a steward, it's her, she has to protect them. Now, I have to hope that Alder being died and come back, and the mushroom, I know the mushroom isn't in the, can't get under the glacier, but I have to believe that somehow Alder survived. I mean, Tally made it back to America, despite everything. Which makes me think that somehow the mushroom managed to get her back, whether the mushroom then sent some other witches, some other agents to get Tally back, and they managed to find Alder. Largely because Alder is also a steward of the song. She has 1 or 2 pieces of the song, and the mushroom is going to do anything it can to keep those. And I don't think that is the last we've seen of Alder. But it also, I mean, I'd say it could be, but then she has a piece of the song. If she didn't have a piece of the song, I would be so much more like, is Alder permanently gone? But I think it is really brilliant character development to show Alder being willing to risk her life for Tally's, because this is a woman who survived for centuries by sucking out the life force of other young women. Now, again, I know that like the biddies, I don't personally agree with it, but like I get it. I get that she was like the one that was looking out for witches, but I think it really shows you that Alder has gone from thinking, I am the only person who can do this. I am the one that is best prepared to protect everybody, and if other people have to sacrifice along the way for me, fine, because I have to do it, and I will mourn them, I will honour their loss, but I am the most important to, no, this young girl is going to save the day, I'm going to save her. And that shows you brilliant Alder character development. She's not always been one of my favourites, but I think being freed from the army and being freed from the responsibility she got to go for herself, or being in charge of every single witch, has been very important for her, and I'm certain that would be the last time we see her. Then we have Abigail, Raelle, and Scylla. And I loved Abigail being like, no, Scylla's just one of us. I think it's particularly special because it wasn't even just a case of Abigail saying, Scylla's important to you, she's the love of your life, therefore we're going to save her. Because, like, that is totally valid when that happens, but instead she was like, no, Scylla is one of us. You know, Scylla has become a member of this unit, Scylla has become a sister to Abigail and Tally, and I adore that so much. It also shows you the growth of character that Scylla has had, because season 1 Scylla would never have been able, they would never have accepted her in that way. They would have been like, my god, Raelle, evil like they were. So I think it really helps to show Scylla's character development. It also shows you Abigail's character development, because I think season 1 Abigail, no matter how reformed and redeemed Scylla was, would have been like, no, I'm not having that one near me. Whereas she has also grown. Them all, just them coming together, them fighting to save Scylla, them using, again, the Camarilla are like, oh, we have witch magic proof this place, and then the witches are like, so we're just going to come and invade your slaughterhouse without using a single drop of magic, speck of magic. Absolutely epic. I adored how easily they were able to save her, because I think it really, I'm sure there will be people that will be like, oh, that was too easy, but no, it shows you the arrogance and complacency of the Camarilla, and that they think all witches have is their workings, and witches are so much more than that. Women are so much more than that. And I love that they were able to outsmart them, really, to save the day, to save Scylla. And then the Fort Salem witches did their best. They tried. The army witches, they didn't deserve to die. And I really wonder, because there was a backup unit standing behind, what were they thinking when their sisters were just being murdered for no reason? Like, they didn't want to attack. You don't just murder them. You arrest them and charge them with treason or whatever, like, fine. But you can't just murdering them because they wouldn't attack. I mean, it's because they're Camarilla and they secretly want an excuse to kill all the witches, but fucking hell, that was brutal. And you know, what she said as she died about, like, you know, my mother always told me it was glorious to die in battle, and this doesn't feel it, and it never does. Battle is sad and depressing, and so often the battles are based on orders you don't necessarily agree with, orders you don't even know the true motivations behind, and like, where are the heroes? And I think that really spoke to Abigail, because every single one of those witches was a hero. Every single one of those witches that had been trying to delay the invasion, that had been trying to subvert the orders, were heroes. Every single one of them that stood there and stood their ground and tried to fight back were heroes. That young girl that died was a hero. And our girls were heroes for standing up to them, for fighting back. And ultimately Abigail looked at the situation and was like, we cannot let this go on. We have it within our power to fix this. You know, when we went on the run, we never imagined this day would come in this way. And I'm so proud of her for coming to that realization, and for Tally and Raelle and Scylla to just be like, you're right. We have to do this. I love them so much. I get emotional when I think about what good people they are, how brave and strong and kind and true they are, how much they have grown and developed over the course of this show, how the world just vilifies them when they are everything. And I'm really worried about them going into the next episode, and I'm so fiercely proud of them. So then we have Raelle and Scylla, and the stress I get. I mean, I was stressed when Tally and Raelle reunited in the previous episode when they kind of weren't safe yet, but I was also like, oh, Raelle can use the witch bomb, they're relatively safe. But then in this episode, when Raelle made the promise to not use it, which I also love, that she kept that promise to the end, I was terrified for them because I was just get out, and then I want to see you hug and kiss and reunite, and it can be beautiful. Right now it's beautiful, but it's also stressful. And so I kind of, when Raelle was like, hold this feeling, she had the exact same thought. So I just, the moment they saw each other, working together to save Scylla as well, using the fear of the witch bomb without even having to use a drop of it. And then, like I said, the next episode is called But I Don't Even Have a Dress. Now, I can't imagine after this episode there will be time for a wedding in the next episode, but I remember seeing that and I was like, they have grown so much together and their love for each other has never faltered. I think Scylla's upbringing, being a dodger and then losing her parents because they were made an example of for trying to dodge the army, really put her in a dark place. And I truly believe Nycta and the Spree and Raelle's mom took advantage of a vulnerable young girl who was lost and hurting and in pain, and got her to channel all of that pain into a dark place. And that dark place is why she joined the Spree, and it is why she did what she did in the first episode, which will always be a stain on her soul. And I think it was Raelle, and then through kind of seeing Raelle, both Raelle's goodness, Raelle having been hurt by the army in various ways but still staying true, Raelle and her love for her sisters, for Abigail and Tally, these three women that could not be any more different from each other at the start, and their sisterhood and their strength and the way they looked out for each other, that really showed Scylla there is another way. There is another way to deal with this pain, and there is another way to work to make the world better. And it really, Raelle truly saves her. She helped her escape that dark place and find a much better path, and I absolutely adore it. I think Scylla helped remind Raelle that, like, because I know Scylla was kind of fake in the relationship to begin with, but I also think she very much had feelings for Raelle that were real quite quickly. When Raelle was in that dark place, being forced to go to this place that had killed her mother ultimately, Scylla was able to help Raelle find her way through it as well, and their relationship has been beautiful to watch. Watching in season 1, I was like, she's terrorist using her! And then by now, I'm like, oh my god, they're getting married. They've done a really brilliant job of, I think, salvaging what to me was a pretty problematic relationship, but it was Scylla and her character's journey, and Scylla has put the work in. I would have liked a little bit more kind of acknowledgement of, like, I've done some really terrible things, but now I want to make up for it. But on the whole, we've really seen Scylla go through such a journey, and she is still so young herself, that I love them together now, and I love that they represent some real hope and positivity, and the same with Abigail and Adil do. And I'm just so scared and excited for what comes next. And there's so much that has to happen, and there are 2 episodes left. And I'm fucking stressed. I adore this show with all of my heart and soul. I'm so sorry if I've forgotten something or missed something out. But yeah, I love the show dearly with all of my heart and soul. There being 2 episodes left is the worst thing in the world right now. I mean, okay, it's not, the world is falling apart, but it's taking away one of the one good things in the world, okay? I love the show. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.